Does your trap bag hang low?
Do your trap bags hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them with all those bows in them, guys? Cheers and welcome to episode 239 of Michigan Bros Grow Show. Tonight is a little Hash Bash Cup special. We're serving it up to you for girly style. And I'm here to let you know that I don't have much of a voice left. So someone take it from here.
That's great. We had a blast at Hash Bash Cup, as a matter of fact, and
it was
we
a
had
whole
a
weekend.
blast for it. Yeah, you know what? Cheers, everybody! Welcome to the show. Welcome back. I see everybody in chat. We do have a guest this evening. We have Blue Kiss joining us. I believe Tara will be on her way with Nut Tree shortly, and everybody's cruising on in. So we'll save the festivities for a moment, and we'll just start getting right into a couple of the things that have been going on this week leading up to Hash Bash. Some good, some sad, not necessarily bad, but sad. And of course, all of the I don't know. I hate to say festivities, right? Because there's a protest involved. It's a rally. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of hats being worn on Hash Bash weekend. So we can talk about them all the good, bad, the ugly, the smashery. We can talk about all. So I like to begin with a. I would like to begin with a. Fare thee well, right? A fare thee well. We lost a great member of the community just before Hash Bash, and we talked a little bit last week about what Hash Bash is, what it stands for, and 2 days later, John Sinclair passed away, and so the memorial and everything about that, was commemorated in this year's Hash Bash. So 2024 is the year that Hash Bash sought to commemorate John Sinclair. The last 50 plus years of Hash Bash has been to commemorate the activism of John Sinclair and his ability to, persevere through a 10-year sentence. He the protests got him out. I don't believe he did that full.
No, he did. He got 2 years. He actually did 2 years for one joint, though. Remember, he still only smoked one joint.
And the old song, they gave him 10 for 2. What else could all the judges do? John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Mitch Ryder, Detroit Wheels, many musicians got together. I believe it was at Cobo Hall originally, or somewhere downtown Detroit originally, for a free John Sinclair Freedom Rally. 1972, I believe, was the year. 52 years ago now, and it eventually turned into a protest in Ann Arbor, I believe, a few years later. And through the years, it's been up and it's been down. It's been all around. Ann Arbor's gone through different challenges to the movement, some good, some bad, some ugly. And here we are standing today where I don't know how many thousands of people are on the Diag, cloud of smoke at noon, and to commemorate that. I believe Lucas and Russ, you were both at the Diag. So let's start at the Diag. What was going on at I missed the Diag this year.
It was like you said, I don't know. I said it to a couple people that I felt like, I said, I felt like the spirit of John was there because it was a beautiful damn day. And usually Hash Bash is miserable, cold, rain. And, but this one was absolutely beautiful the entire day.
I will say it was sunny and snowing in Ann Arbor on Friday.
Oh, man.
We cut out the snow and got 2 for 2 on Saturday. That's for sure.
It's not an understatement at all to say that it's always rainy and crappy weather on Hash Bash. The first weekend in April in Southeast Michigan is Wile E. Coyote, and in most of the time it is like sleeting or like cold, wet rain. And I mean, I'd say 8 out of 10 years it's like that. In this year that we got the good, nice weather on Hash Bash, I am a little disappointed in ourselves for not making. I'm not really disappointed in ourselves for not making out there. We actually had a reason to stay behind. We couldn't really take Ruben downtown with all the people with us, and we really needed to take
There
it. Let's welcome Tara and Nuttree to the show.
dogs too there.
Yay.
You guys, welcome.
Hey, cheers. Sorry, dinner ran over.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
We were nervous about Ruben like picking up trash and stuff, and who knows what kind of joints were on the ground. And he loves weed, so we
He does
just
love weed, and
Yeah,
he
There
does-
were a lot of well-behaved dogs there. I have to say that. For as many people as there were, and as many dogs as there were, much like Red and Becca did, if their dogs weren't ready, people left them home because there were tens of thousands of people. It felt like there and wall to wall. It was overwhelming for me. I can't even imagine being a dog and trying to navigate that.
There was a ton of people. I'm sure you're familiar, Red, but our kind of meeting spot's the flagpole because it's kind of away from the stage in a way. But it was 10 foot in front of the flagpole forward was solid people.
wow,
Solid.
Yes.
well, that is a big year. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That was great. It was awesome to see.
Even around the flagpole, it looked like a big party going on because people, the flagpole's a good place to meet.
Half of that is like 10,000 people, right? You get like halfway to the flagpole, it's like 10,000 people. So I mean,
It was packed.
even, and yeah.
Yep,
So,
we were doing this long before past years. I've had to do it to weed to the front.
And Monroe Street was packed, like it usually is, I guess. And it was cool to see a bunch of familiar faces. I ran into the Scott for the first time I ever met him. Scott from Herbs or the herb dryer. The what's it? Herbs Here Now dryer, and he lives literally like a block from me. Like, like how? Like, yeah, I was like, how in the world can we live so close to each other, and not ran into each other already? This is insane.
small world.
Yeah.
I guess
So
you run into people that admire like I do.
So yeah, shout out to Scott. That was a cool meeting, and it's amazing. Grew. I met him and his better half, and she had I think 3 of their 5 dogs with them.
They have 7 dogs.
Oh, there's 7.
Shit.
Oh, 3 of 7. So it was cool to see them.
Yeah.
Red?
it's too many dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're thinking about an 8. They were talking about getting an 8th one.
well, that's maybe too many Rubens. Never too many Rubens, right? Ruben's over here.
It would be cool to have a pet dogs. I think that would be cool.
They are definitely immersed in the canine lifestyle. I'll say that.
Maybe if I had acres, like a
Yeah.
lot of land, I just in
Yeah,
our
it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Go outside and play.
And then we got time to sneak through because I was looking for the gems and genetics booth, but I never did find them.
I didn't find it either, and I kept looking also.
but,
I know.
Looking for you also, and we didn't see you either.
yeah, we were there. I don't remember when exactly we got there, but we were there till probably 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I had to leave by 2. We were there when Johnson.
Oh, we're definitely there. Yeah, we're definitely there by then.
talking. She was giving her speech, and we were there listening to that.
It was a good speech how she had said that everybody that was kind of following John Sinclair's were called the sinners because that was talking
That was good.
Sinclair, and I thought that was so funny. I thought that was so clever.
So you were at the flagpole at that time?
Yeah,
Man, we were
So we had
just walked away.
Just walked
Like,
away.
Literally, yeah, we were
we
up.
must have just passed each
I was
other.
right
We
up by
must have.
Yeah.
trying to tape her. We got right up there.
classic.
Shows how many people were there.
There was a ton of people.
Yeah.
I have to give some shout outs and some words to a couple people. I had basically 3 shifts of Michigan Bros Grow shows taking care of me because it takes a village when Blue Kiss travels. The first grouping involved Tara and Troy. They picked me up, of course, at the flagpole. And I have to say, for future hash bashes, the parking garage at Thayer and University is the place to park if you want to be close. Literally got out of my car. Because I got there pretty close to noon. So I was pretty far up in the ramp. So when I got out and I could see kind of the university and I could see the flagpole where I had to go, and it wasn't very far. And literally a 5-minute walk, I was there. And in past years, believe me, 5 minutes was the beginning of the walk, not the walk. So shout out to that. And during that walk, as we were walking around, Tara had at one point gone on to use the facilities and then got caught up talking to Old Man Hermit Hash. Shout out to him. That the first time I ever met him. But Troy was navigating. He got the Navigation Basic Award for being the first navigator on the scene and getting us to where I needed to be. But he doesn't get the Hash Bash Navigator Award. And it doesn't even go to an adult. It goes to Anything Grows' son, next Anything Grows, because that boy found his way around for us. When we were going to go the wrong way, it's like, no, you need to go that way. He was good. So shout out to you, Big S. You did the job. So, yep. And Tara did a wonderful job when I tried to knock her cap off of her rig. That thing was heading for the ground to shatter.
That itself was, we had to like go find a corner to tuck ourselves in.
Yeah, she caught that thing midair. She's like a pro. Yeah, we were dabbing on the commons. I thought that was especially good because that's where the law stuff is.
Nice.
I got to shout out Schnozberry Farms, Not Your Grandma 313. She tie-dyed this.
Oh, I love it.
For my birthday.
Yes, she does a wonderful job tie-dyeing, doesn't she?
She does a fantastic job.
I need one of those.
Segue back to the show.
If I
Yeah,
wear tie-dye, it's from her. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's definitely been my go-to lately.
Shout out to Blue Kiss hanging out with me and Anything Grows and Emily. We ended up getting a bite to eat and we spent a good amount of time together. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Literally, they were my second shift. Tara left, and I was like, "Bye."
I know. I
Bye.
hated to
What do I
leave.
do
I
now
was
for a
like, I don't
while?
want to leave.
Ding! Where are you?
That's awesome.
It was awesome. It was so
Glad it
perfect.
worked
I
out
couldn't
like
have timed it better. She timed it so perfect. And so then became my middle of the day fantasy at the Hash Bash, walking around with Spartan and Emily's son, and we had a great time.
Oh, good.
Oh man, it was just wonderful.
Yeah, it's cool to walk around and just there's people watch, for God's sake. There's so many people there, for heaven's sakes.
But as far as Gems and Genetics, I believe what the confusion came in is he put on IG, and I'd seen it the night before, but I was real bleary-eyed when I saw it, and I should have read it better. They were going to meet up previous to the actual rally, like at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and walk the market streets. So maybe that's that the gathering spot, I think, may have been at the head of that, and then they walked it. And that's why we never found them, because they didn't actually have a physical booth.
Oh, he did the march. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they just gathered as many of us like-minded folk together. And it would have been me if I wasn't such a slow-ass person.
I was gonna say, if I got there in time, I'd have been in on that.
Oh, for sure. Yep, I would have liked to have done that one.
I guess that's a good point. So some might be thinking, so this is that brings up two of those hats, right? I mentioned the many different hats of Hash Bash and all the different things. So you mentioned the march. So there's where the rally begins, right? So the march on Monroe Street. Meet on Monroe Street. And for those that don't know, Monroe Street is just a section downtown Ann Arbor. It's off the Diag. It's a section. It's kind of like an old downtown bar district. Really, there's a bunch of bars. There's some campus stuff in and on the area. But then up what road they march? What road takes you to the Diag itself? Not Monroe Street. Takes you up the Diag. Is it South University? I believe they march up University, if I'm not mistaken.
That would make total sense.
To the Diag, which is a central rock. And in the march, you're talking thousands of people marching from Monroe. They have the meetup. The initial meetup is off the Diag. It's down. And what time do they start marching? At like 10:30, 10:30?
Yeah.
Something.
I believe that's what it was, 10:30.
And then so that's kind of the first portion, right? Organically Blunt, Michigan Gems Genetics had a booth.
We must have been just too high because we walked around for fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, and Tara, all of us, and we were looking. I don't know.
Yeah, I walked up and down there. I looked. So I was also looking for seed cellar. I didn't see seed cellar.
Well, I hope everything I said up to that point was accurate. I'll say that.
Yeah. So that's like the first leg of Hash Bash. Then the Diags. Oh, wow, this is a good dab. It's getting choked up.
Maybe you already said this earlier, Spartan, but I think Sinclair did have something to do with the weather being awesome there. That was pretty great.
Exactly. I haven't had been to a hash bash in my life that was that nice, honestly.
I haven't been myself. I haven't been to many.
Either,
but,
yeah.
but
I think it's unanimous.
crappy.
Yep, 100%. It was a fucking beautiful day.
It was.
It's supposed to be in the 70s tomorrow.
I know I'm going to be planting some. I got 2 blueberry. I'm probably going to go get actually 2 more of each, but 2 blueberry and 2 raspberry plants. But I'm going to get, I think, 2 more of each and do 4 and 4.
Nice.
Nice.
I think I'll plant them
Specific
too.
cultivar in mind as far as your race.
Actually, I'm going to Meyer because they're buy one get one half off.
There you go.
What about
And-
blackberry?
But I'm just trying to get the most variety of them. Is what I'm trying to get. They only have usually 2 varieties of each, so I'm just getting,
I got to get you some of the.
Dude, I won't shut up. Beck and I've been on a roll. No, go ahead, Fugurley. What do you got?
I was just gonna say I got to get you some of my second generation. I guess technically be second generation Fugurley raspberry plants.
absolutely. I will not turn that down.
My
No,
dad
they
grew
could.
them. My dad grew them at the house we grew up in for, I mean, at least a decade, probably maybe 2 decades or
We're
something
talking
like that.
heirloom. We're talking now heirloom variety.
Yeah, generational raspberries. You know what I'm saying? And he gave me clones of them or whatever you want to call it. I guess
Spikes
just,
of them or whatever.
yeah. Just took them out of the ground. Really, little plots of them, repotted them or whatever. And I transplanted those to now 3 different homes that I've lived in. And try to take them and propagate them everywhere I go, if you will. And I'd love to share that with you if you're into raspberries, man. He makes like 100 pounds of jam a year with that, with this crap.
Ooh, I love raspberry jam. Put that in some ice cream.
Preserves or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But hey, I want to jump in here because if we're on shout outs, I've got a couple shout outs to make for sure. And first and foremost is Mrs. Fugurley, because I certainly wouldn't have been able to do the Hash Bash Cup at all without her support. And it's been a long time since her and I were able to vend an event like that together. And it was really, really nice to have her there, be my right hand woman, if you will. And
Good right hand woman too.
She knows you better than anybody, though. That's the thing. She's the best. She's the best one for that job.
Yeah, and she knows the product just as
Yeah.
well, So it's she's a badass. She's a bulldog, and I fucking love her. And it was great having her there. I also want to thank, in particular, Red and Becca. Between the two of them, they put in over 32 hours, 32 man hours, 32 rosemary hours of help for me, of work. You know what I mean? Real work. And I'm very appreciative of you guys too, because we certainly, I don't think you'd be able to vend that event alone. I've vended a lot of events alone, and I don't think that's one of them. But even with 2 people, I don't think that's really all that possible. I mean, it may be possible, but it'd be a real struggle. And so we were fortunate enough to have Red and Becca alongside of us, both Friday and Saturday, pretty much all day. And you guys were an incredible help. You guys have more experience doing what we do than just about anybody I know. You grow fantastic product at the same level, and you're able to put your product at the same level and sell out of it. And it was cool seeing people walk by and do double takes of Red because he's in a Fugurley shirt, and they're like, wait. And then they're like, oh shit, it's Red.
Are here.
It was so
And so I just want to say a special thank you to you two, because we certainly couldn't have done it without your guys' help either. And I also want to thank my unnamed body double that helped put on the Fugurley delusion. He was certainly helpful as well. And of course, Professor Dabs, who hung out and helped at the booth. And he was another one of those guys where it was really funny to see like every like 20 minutes someone walk by and be like, "Oh, what's up, Professor?" He's just one of those guys that like people recognize. He's like the most consistent Instagrammer, that I follow, just every morning putting up a post. So it was cool to hang out with him too, spend some time with everybody, do some dabs in the room. I also want to, of course, thank everybody for their support. Certainly wouldn't be worth anyone's time had not, all of you out there showed up to support me and scoop up all of the lime skunk and scoop up all of the clementine sauce and scoop up all of the raspberry parfait.
Oh, that raspberry parfait is special, friends.
Oh man, I'm pretty stoked about that.
I'm so bummed to miss it. How is it? I want to know about it.
New
Let me know.
convert.
So
New convert.
I'm pretty stoked about it, guys. It's my first crop of it. It was the first technically 2 runs of it. I did do the 2 runs like I talked about, how I was going to break it up between the 5 plants that I had, break it up into 2 runs based on the fact that 2 of them were more voluminous and just as terpy. One of them was not nearly as voluminous but very frosty and purple, and then we had 2 other ones that just sucked, right? So I processed all those into 2 different runs and then ended up basically whipping all both runs together, doing the post-processing together and then packaging them all as one. So that didn't necessarily give me a breakdown of 2 or maybe more different plants at a time, but I think I got enough information for what I needed out of the growth, the harvest, and the preparation for processing, that I kind of know what I want to go with. But that being said, the reason, of course, that I went down this road of raspberry parfait is because I believe it was Spartan that pointed out the fact that it was a strain that was dominant in terpinolene, and terpinolene so happens to be the most dominant terpene also in clementine, in lime skunk, in grapefruit Durban, in Durban poison, and many of these strains that I have, just a lot of these strains that I really love. And so I purchased the seeds. It's the first, strain of seeds I purchased in many years, and we popped them, we hunted them, and here we are. But I'm pretty stoked about it. The flavor is certainly different. Now you're certainly still getting some fruit in there, and I actually kind of want to let Red share his perspective because I think he had a pretty good description of it. But I will say that the effects are almost exactly what I get from lime skunk. And I kept going back up to the room and doing dabs of either lime skunk or raspberry parfait because it kept me being that chatty Cathy and social and just, doing the thing with thousands of people that were walking by. And it was perfect to kind of just keep me going. So I was very stoked on the effects. I'm very happy that the flavor is a little bit different. And maybe Red can expand on that, but it's definitely going to stick around for at least a few more runs until I can dial it in, I'm
not going to try to change the subject here, but I did want to say that your plan of going up and doing dabs every other grouping, probably the smartest thing you guys did because it gave you a break from having your feet constantly on downstairs.
Yeah.
And when you did come downstairs, you were like, I'm ready to go again.
It's a break from the smoke, a break from the talking, a break from the repetition.
How crazy is it when you walked into that room, right?
Yeah.
And you broke the barrier of the rest of the hotel that's just a smoky nonsense mess. And you walk in and you just get blasted with lime skunk. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, but I like lime skunk. You must know that I did that to myself last year when I broke that 2-gram jar in my backpack. Oh, my whole room. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Okay. All right.
So, back to Red, so I'm sorry to
officially got way out of
I tried not to go that far.
Well, yeah. No, let me keep. I'm not mad. I just want to inform the viewers. I'm not mad at all. I wanna continue the recap and say I will review that in a moment. And I also am. Thank you very much for that kind share of gratitude, because I'm equally grateful in just the opportunity, just the family, the community, everything about that. the fact that our flower was able to be on your table and at the Hash Bash Cup, we weren't signed up for the Hash Bash Cup. We didn't have enough product to really do that event and be able to make it worth our while. But you found a way to make it a win. Like literally, like there's like a 4 or 5 way win at this.
Dude, I don't mean to interrupt, but I was thinking about this on my drive home, and I kept adding up how it was just beneficial for both of us, and I often think of things on how they could be an equal sum game, right? Like if something's positive, then this has to be negative, and everything has to be equal somehow, right? For every action, there's a positive and equal reaction, you know. So, but I couldn't find the negative, man. It was just like kept adding up, and it was like it kept compounding and snowballing.
Even though you paid us very kindly for labor and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? I still found it at a net positive, where I was like, he's still at a net positive no matter which way you turn it. And like,
I agree.
It was a win-win. You know what I mean? Because like,
and we had fun.
The community won. We were all
another win.
The patients won. You know, the patrons, the custodies, whoever, trappers, whatever. Everybody won.
I don't think we had too many trappers at our table, but I appreciate
I got a couple to grab some head stash.
That's fair.
You get some head stash. And I had somebody go, head stash, huh? And you go, okay, all right. Bring it in, guys. Let me get a second one of those. Let me get what's this chart? Oh, I was just gonna beeline it past you. And that's the thing. I don't know how many people really work markets, but you have to bring them in. People will walk. People are blindfolded. People are overwhelmed, especially in these ones. And but anyway, so we took a hard left turn. Now we're at a hotel. We were on the Diag in the sunshine. We were in the sunshine, and now we're in a smoky, cloudy hotel. So so this is another one of the many hats of the Hash Bash weekend. And so at noon, the Diag, the protest goes. We have a celebration outside in Ann Arbor on the Diag, and now we welcome Emily. Anything Grows. Cheers, Emily.
Hey, cheers, guys. Good to see y'all.
You were on the Diag as well, down there with everybody.
That I was.
And in a sunshiny day, and so the cup, I just want to inform everybody, is at a hotel about how many miles from the Diag? You say about 5. Let's say roughly.
I think it's like 3.5 or something like that.
Yeah, it takes at least 30 minutes to get there if you're trying to drive.
It's that city traffic. 3.5 miles, 30 minutes. I love it.
Trying to park through all the traffic, as it's a very big event. You have to plan accordingly. So there are multiple events going on. You have the Monroe Street Fair, you have the Hash Bash on the Diag, and then you have the Hash Bash Cup. So just to talk, let the listeners who might be listening and not really know, there are multiple events we are talking about of the many facets of the Hash Bash weekend. So,
and to be more clear, the Hash Bash Cup is actually 3 days. So it goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where the Hash Bash and the Monroe Street Fair, Monroe Street Fair are only on Saturday.
It's an adjacent cup to the festival.
Adjacent cup.
And there's a lot of other small events, like satellite events, that are going on because
doesn't the cup have the treasure hunt like a week beforehand too?
Oh my God, another facet. So the treasure hunt.
That's not a cup. That's actually another organization that raises money, like the Last Prisoner Project, but they're called. How did I forget their name? I know Josie's the one.
Yeah, Josie.
Behind the Scroggins organizers.
The Expungement Network.
Great Lakes Expungement Network. Yeah, that's what it is.
Good job, everybody.
Get there eventually, people. So the many facets. So that's something that's put on, and that's really cool because you get multiple dispensaries involved to where you have to, like, if you go into a dispensary, I think you buy a treasure map, right? And that's how the funds are raised. By buying.
For example, Winewood Organics. Shout out to Eric, Winewood Organics, man.
That's a good example, actually.
He's one of the participating.
Yes, I went there last year. I didn't do it this year.
And so you'd go there and you get a freebie, right? And you might buy something from Winewood and support Eric. And then at the end of this treasure hunt, after you've hit however many stops, if you even hit them all and collect all your freebies, you end up at the hotel, at the Hash Bash Cup at the hotel. Now, I would say as far as the festivities go, the Hash Bash Cup is more of the festival. side of the thing. The Diag, the march on Monroe Street and the University Street was definitely the protest, the rally. And then there's a festivities and a festival kind of going on in Monroe Street again after the Diag stuff ends at about 3:00. The bars for Girly, were you talking? I saw your mouth moving. I wasn't sure. Okay, good. The bars open up and there's a party on Monroe Street and there's bags of joints and everything going on. But mind you, this is just Ann Arbor's in a cloud of smoke during this time. And so that
Blind Pig always has the after party.
that's really cool. Blind Pig is Bob Seger, White Stripes. I mean, you're talking all kinds of fucking big names flying. Nirvana played at the Blind Pig actually. Back in the day. Yeah, super cool history.
Tangent.
I've been in that green room too. The green room's got some cool shit written on the walls.
I bet it does.
So the Hash Bash does have many faces and facets, and to review the Raspberry Parfait, just on this real fast,
I forgot we were doing that.
this nice pink.
No, he knows the segues, baby.
Yeah, so to review, so I off the flavor, when Becca stuck it in my nose, I kind of got this like mango flavor, and then I thought about the word Raspberry Parfait, and I was like, on the back end of that, on the high end, it kind of gets a little raspberry, and then there's the cream, there's the parfait. So I can definitely see Raspberry Parfait of the name, unless it's psychologically driven through the name. But you can see how much he's scraped his jar on that
Mine's a
stuff.
little skunky.
It does have a little skunkiness to it, but I really get this sweet, almost fruit, tropical fruit, like a pineapple mango type of.
Someone did ask if lime skunk was in it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, it's just like the terpene profiles are that close. You know,
There's some
It's
citrusy
very close.
something, and it's not like a. Go ahead. What was that?
Whatever makes up the taste of a raspberry is a pretty compound blending,
profile.
for lack of a better profile. Thank you. It's really and it's more subtle than a lot of them are. Orange hits you in the face. You know orange when it hits you. Raspberry doesn't hit you like that.
Right?
Oh no, that's got that little bit of a sour. Like
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether it's like tart or sour or what.
Yeah,
I just
Exactly.
had some fresh blueberries. When I got home. They were
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if it's citric acid that makes it sour, but yeah. And then so that's on the smell, and I'd say that it really has one of those really high end smells that's going to hit you in the forehead, like a berry fruit or like,
Feel.
yeah, like a berry fruit or something's really going to hit you more in the cheeks. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
you
the
talk about where
residue.
your sinuses are at, you know what I mean? And then when I smoke it off the inhale, I get something very floral and not fruit at all, and not necessarily even citrus. I get a hazy. Becca gets hibiscus. I get a flowery, floral. Yeah, something floral, like very much petally, rose, maybe even essence of rose.
Like the leaves of a raspberry bush?
Maybe the leaves.
ooh.
Raspberry
I like that. I like that raspberry leaf, or even the flowers off of the raspberry. And then it fades fruit, like I'm in my mouth, like it settles. It's weird. It's almost like a midway. It's not on the back end, right? It's not on the back end of the flavor because it almost gets a little bit back into like the skunky. Because off the inhale, it's like, ooh, that's earthy, floral, and then you're like, oh wow. All of a sudden, my mouth is engulfed with a fruit of some sort, and then on the back end, it gets creamy off that back end, which is
Now I want to touch on that too.
I'm gonna give that a test. What you just said right now.
Yeah. Give that a nice slow dab and let us know in a minute here.
I'm gonna see if I get what you're getting.
I want to
Because I mentioned that.
as a cold start and see how it tastes that way.
There you go.
we were hitting at what like 500 off
But it
of.
would be wonderful cold.
About 540, probably about 540
Okay,
realistically.
540. All right.
I will say though, Spartan, I mentioned how I thought it was going to be a little bit more like the Cobra milk in that it was like a kind of like that creamy, milky or something, but it's not. It doesn't. And I bring this up because Red just mentioned it, but it's not Cobra milk where it's like a cereal milk. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's not
that's what I was thinking when he said it. So
right.
I'm glad you said that.
But what it is, man, it's like think about lime skunk and think about clementine, and then think about like a toned down version of that. And I think the dipped clem is going to
So
be
like
strong
like a cream saver candy kind of like.
yeah. Again, it's like I go back to that what was it called, the cream saver or whatever, like the lifesaver, like creamy creamy sharp.
Yeah, I had the spirals. the
yeah,
white-
yeah. It's like
So-
that.
Good. If I were to have a candy, dude, yeah.
The way you guys are describing this, it just sounds like a mouthful of Greek yogurt.
That's
No, because Greek
Yeah.
yogurt is too sour. This is more
That's
like,
too tart.
oh, bro, I can't do Greek yogurt.
I love.
I don't like
I don't
it
like
at all.
yogurt.
Brad,
Yeah.
that floral that you were describing, I was getting when I sucked deep into my sinuses, and
Mm.
also when I exhaled through my nose, I got the floral. It was the top of my roof of my mouth that I got the raspberry, and
Yeah, it's in the middle.
That's what I mean, in the middle, in the midway. Yeah, exactly. Like in the middle.
it was the back of my sinus where I got that hint of floral, and then when I exhaled through my nose, it definitely had that more soft floral to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Red, for that description. 'Cause
Wow,
the way you
interesting.
described
Very
that the other day was,
Like that too. Yeah.
yeah.
sorbet is what I would
Yeah,
say. Like
yeah.
like a sweeter,
Okay.
like it's not really creamy. It's
Frozen
not-
yogurt.
No, it's just toned. It's a toned down fruit. You know what I mean? Whatever that is.
Strawberry.
Brand name was what? Raspberry what?
Perfect.
Parfait.
Humboldt Seed
Yeah, I
Company.
I got that Prince song in my head. Raspberry beret, but with parfait. That's perfect.
Yeah,
marketing.
yeah. I always that's how I remember the name is the song.
I guess I'll have to
I did
remake
grow
the
this
music
last
video,
summer,
guys.
too, so that made it more special for me to buy it and try it.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had more time on my hands, that's really all I want to do with my spare time is make parody music.
Parody
videos.
songs. Oh, I'm
Actual
down.
music videos.
When we get free
Free
time,
Alpha
we get
Girl,
to
eh?
do it. That's
If
it's right up my alley.
I wouldn't do this while Red and Beck were there, or Professor, or my body double, but
We could do. All we gotta do. I gotta get some glasses like you, and we could do Blues Brothers easy. We could do ZZ Top easy.
that
I did one
that-
for I like big butts a while ago, and I threw it up, and I did a little one for that.
For what? Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
like big butts. I did a cannabis parody towards that.
I shamelessly, well, maybe it was pretty shameful actually. Now that I think about it, because I wouldn't have done this with anybody else there, but I was basically whispering raps to Masupat, Mrs. Frigoli today, because there was just nothing to do. Like early on when we were setting up, and like the music was going, and we were just, I was just. And she just looked at me. She's like, "That is the most white boy rap I've ever heard."
Yeah. Hey, Vanilla, come on, let's set up.
Hey, at least you tried.
Vanilla OG.
I gotta ask you,
No,
how many phenos of clones did you keep? Are you down to one? Did you just pick one, or do you have several that you're still going to decide on for that raspberry?
So I actually haven't culled any yet, just because I haven't really had the time in the garden yet, and it's just a matter of dumping some water on them to keep them alive. You know what I mean? No, I've got it narrowed down to for sure. Okay, put it this way: there's for sure two that I'm going to cull immediately once I have the opportunity to. Those are those short, squatty, just
Right, for
not
sure.
the type I like. You know what I mean? And they also produced about half the amount that the other plants did. Now that purpley super frosty one was probably like 80% of the other ones. It wasn't quite matched in volume because it was significantly smaller buds. They were just purple and frosty. So I guess in terms of the bag appeal in that regard, like visually, it probably won that way. But I mean, looking at clementine and lime skunk and the way that type of plant grows, I know what's going to dump, even if it doesn't look great. And so I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of that bag appeal.
Right, what's the terps like on that purple one?
Dude, that's the thing. On all 5 different plants, I didn't notice any sort of difference.
All right, so that one's out.
Those.
Okay, so you down to 2.
Well, yeah. So, the other 2 are pretty much exactly the same. So I really only had 3 different phenos, but I had 5 plants, right?
Right.
So I had the 2 short squatty ones, I had the 2 big solid dumpers, and then I had the 1 kind of purple frosty one.
And the
So
purple frosty one doesn't give you anything, so that's out.
It gives me about 50% of the other one, man. And that's enough to, I think, give it a second go.
It gives you what?
About 80% of the volume of the other one, or I should say the return on.
Yeah,
the
but you said the terps are the same is what you have with the other one. So what does purple give you besides 20% loss?
Just the visual appeal, bro.
Yeah, but you're growing oil, man.
Okay, but I sold out of flour first this weekend.
Yeah, how often is that the case in most events?
Never,
Besides
because I never have any flour, bro. But I actually brought some this time, and it's still sold out first.
that.
You can probably
It
make
didn't
a
even hit
point.
the
Ian.
table.
Okay, well,
That was
do you have no ability to grow any other flower? You're going to grow 2 phenos of the same cultivar, just for one for flower and one for oil.
I mean, not in perpetuity, but I would give it a second or third run for sure. I think.
Well, you're already telling me in the future you don't intend to do it. So why are you wasting time and holding on to it?
God, why are you being so aggressive right now, Spartan? I'm too tired for this.
I'm just trying to save you time. I'm trying not. Okay, I've walked into this pitfall and rolled down there and broke my neck. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you avoid that.
I'm trying to help you, dude.
So let's do this then. How do I decide between number 4 and 5? We'll go with. I don't actually know what the numbers are, but 4 and 5 that are the
Eeny,
more voluminous
meeny,
ones.
miny, mo. Oh, that's not
Yeah,
it.
I
That's
would
how it goes.
I would go ahead and run them side by side. You know,
They were side by
your
side.
winners.
And if I'm honest with you, the one that wasn't on the end of the row actually did give me a little bit more, but it wasn't on the end of the row. I think they just are identical phenos like the other two, even though the other
Then
two.
you just
quicker.
then you just use all of your psychic ability and you pick whatever one feels good.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to pick the one with the biggest number on the fresh frozen bag, bro.
Then that's what you do, man. Because that's what subconsciously is going to make you feel good about the decision anyway. So do that.
Yeah, but none of my flour is pretty except
It doesn't have to be pretty. You're not
garlic
growing
punch.
flour. You're growing oil, so you can't use that for an excuse.
The
well,
nutrients-
I am growing flour because the flour is the input. It's just
It will
ingredient.
for Growly. It will sell because it says for Growly on my package. You don't have to worry about that. Believe me, it doesn't have to be the prettiest diamond. And you know what I mean. It just has to be good flour. And like you guys are telling, I haven't even smoked it, and I want to smoke it from what you guys have been saying.
If it
Well, we'll get
smells,
some in your lungs soon.
bag appeal matters less.
put a
I
butt
agree.
of
I've
each-
always shouted that from the rooftops that it's terps are the fucking most
Well,
important
I'm just
thing.
saying, you can make that decision. Now you have one plant. You can take all that shit out. You can stop fucking spending resources on it or whatever, and you can pop more genetics and get another flavor.
Yeah, but you know I only do one pheno hunt a year, and this is my pheno hunt. I got squirt behind it. I got to deal with as well. And to be quite frank
Okay.
with
Is
you,
your year
I
over?
didn't wash. I didn't process them all together. Or I processed them all together.
Right.
So
Which makes
I mean, could something come out a little different on the other end of the closed loop system in terms of flavor or whatever if you process it on its own versus sure, there's that variable there, right? But you know, I like I said when I started this, I do think I have a good enough perspective on it to know kind of what I want. It's just that dude, it was so pretty. I'm wondering if I couldn't make it bigger and pretty, you know.
Okay, I've got a question though. It's only April, so where does the free Growly year loop from, man?
I do one pheno hunt a year. I pop seeds once a year.
calendar
The
year.
seeds have been popped.
January then?
But if you've already gotten your winner for it and you've got more time in the year, why not do another one?
I don't have my winner yet. That's the problem with this discussion. And the other challenge is I haven't fully finished flowering the other portion of the pheno hunt, which is squirt, and I have just as many phenos of that.
Oh.
Did you say squirt?
Squirt. I'm looking for that grapefruit Durban, and it's supposed to be like that. And so the challenge
So
with that
how
one
does
though, is they
yours
literally all look
go?
the same. It's not. There's no difference in these ones.
So how does yours go then? So you pop them at the start of the year, figure out some keepers from that first flip, and then Put
Emily,
'em-
you're
put 'em
acting
in
like I
again?
have some sort of regulated plan of how I do this. This is just, hey, I'm going to pop
Ah.
seeds this year. This is my pheno hunt. I think I popped these seeds technically in like
That
November
takes
or
again.
December.
Oh,
and
it sounded
I'm
like you had a plan. It sounded like you had a plan. So I was
Yeah, my
just
plan
wondering.
is to pop seeds once a year and hope I get something that either kicks something else out of my garden or is good enough to just be added to it, you know?
I think these two
Yeah.
tag teaming you. I'm just curious.
We're just curious about the process. That's all.
They're just jealous they didn't get to try any raspberry punch. They're upset about it because he's the one that told me about it. Like,
You want to
in
see
what,
the
9 months ago or something?
I think it was baked. I think Bake said it.
Was it? All right. Well, I'm just going to
I
keep
remember
giving
me
you
and
credit
Bake
'cause I
talked
can't
about it,
remember.
and we both talked about wanting to tell you, but I'm 100%. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he's the one that originally saw it.
My apologies. All credit goes to Bake then. Russ, you're just an animal.
I'm
right
just an
now,
innocent
and-
bystander.
Hey, cheers, man. I'm going to do me a little dab of dipped clam. Dipped clam.
So that was the other one I was talking about. So this is
Puke.
a near half and half split between grape fun dip and clementine. And we all know clementine is that very sharp, super orange, tangy, whatever flavor,
Right.
very much like in the quote unquote sativa leaning category. But Grape Fun Dip is the only strain in my garden that has any sort of gas to it. And it's not super, super gassy, but it is gassy on the front end. And then, like Garlic Punch, it finishes with this like kind of purple berry, whatever punch on the back end. I thought it would be more of a competitor to Garlic Punch, but I don't think it is. I do think Garlic Punch is better, but it is different. The reason I combine them together is because, like with Clement Punch, it really like kind of toned down the sharpness of it. And so it added like a whole nother spectrum of flavor to it, and also made it so it was just more tolerable for like those that might not be able to, it might have asthma or might be more sensitive to higher terpene content.
I don't cough hard on it at all. It's real smooth for me.
Grape Fun Dip.
I think that's the clementine is super smooth, and then the grape underneath, like more of the gas comes out and kind of makes it more like a really, really ripe fruit. Is what I like to think of it. Like it's just right there. I love it. I like
versus like a fresh squeeze or something like that.
Yeah. Like it's been fermenting kind of like it's
Okay.
More.
Yeah, a little bit of that funk added to it. And
lime skunk, I can expect to, even before I'm done with the dab, probably have to cough a little bit.
yeah, for sure. Well, actually, I walked by a booth, I think it was yesterday, and someone, just speaking of funky oranges, someone was like, he saw me and he goes, "Bring back jelly bean, bring back jelly bean, bring back jelly bean."
Had a protest. So a little mini protest.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh shit, you remember?"
Bring back jelly bean. Bring back jelly bean.
Oh, dude.
I think for me, Grape Fun Dip and Garlic Punch are similar, but Garlic Punch has more of a high. Like it's a bit more intense.
Yes, definitely.
Wise.
Totally agree.
I love the flavor of Grape Fun Dip, though. I'm a big.
I do too. It was a great dabs.
And that raspberry parfait, I just did probably like the biggest one I've done of it at one time, and it like went into my eye. It was like my high was all up in my face. It was cool.
All up in my grill.
And it's probably going to make you want to tell a lot of stories like Red wants to. So, Red, please make sure you keep her off the mic.
I didn't know.
No, you created a monster.
Put the apple there, and so it made my head explode. Yeah, that's what I've been having a coughing fit for the last, I don't know how long. So we did that at like 9:35. It was like 12 minutes. I've been gasping for air over here, and Becca's just been chuckling. So I've drank bong. I had to drink bong water to help myself.
Oh no,
relieve. Oh my goodness, it's been.
You know what? You want to hear something funny that I noticed when I was packing up all the 2-gram jars that we were using for the e-nail and seshing with? The one that was okay, so there's pretty much 2 that went first. And the first one was raspberry parfait that I got emptied first. The second one was lime skunk, pretty much the next dab of it, But what stood out to me and I thought was kind of interesting, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this as to maybe why, is clementine was the least dabbed out of jar out of my whole palette.
That's interesting right there.
That too.
Well, it's also one of your older ones, right? So it's the one that's been
For
around
sure.
the longest. So that's
It's
one
one
that
that people have the
people.
most
So
of,
Yeah,
apparently, if people have a choice of flavors, the first choice they're going to pick is the one they had the least of or haven't had before at all, just to try a new flavor. I think that's me. I can tell you that for me for sure.
So I was.
I think it's probably a lot of that.
I would have tried the raspberry parfait if I had.
Well, of course we
So,
would.
right there.
I'll say this.
before.
The first dab I did upstairs with the girls, Becca gave we did the raspberry parfait.
Well, because I wanted you to taste it before
For
you.
sure.
You're
But
I
gonna,
think that was the plan.
She goes, "What do you want to do next?" And I looked at, there was 9 jars there, all different. I looked at them and I go, "You can choose. It doesn't matter to me." She goes, "Well, pick one you haven't done." I said, "I've done them all."
There you go.
Now that I've done raspberry, I've done them all.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
good at the palette.
so I like the Clement lime a
Mhm.
little bit more because it has the lime skunk added to it. So when I would have normally gone for a clementine, I was doing the clem and lime because it gave me a little bit more of an up. And clementine for me is always just pretty chill. It doesn't make me super racy at all. It's just positive. Like I feel positively after.
Uplifting.
Yeah, definitely uplifting.
Did you know that the clem and lime is dipped?
And there's that, and I like that side of it. I like the funkies though.
Yeah, so there was so I ran clem and lime. You guys have known that one for a long time, but I added a little bit of the grape fun dip to it, just like I did the dipped clem, where it kind of like toned that like aggressive, uplifting effect, if you will, back a little bit, and then kind of I also added a little bit more of a fuller spectrum flavor. That was the only triple blend and the only new combination that I had, but
I mostly still got the clem and the lime skunk from it. It did add like just a little, maybe that's what was just doing a little more of a stony feel, high feeling.
It's fun. It's really fun being able to like play with the flavors, like knowing especially like the effects of one, and then being able to like, oh, let's throw a little bit of this in there to kind of either bring that back or enhance it or something like that. It's a little bit of math, I guess. I don't know.
Okay,
Science.
okay. I've got a question for you for Growly, not to bust your balls again about minimal
No,
planning
I
here.
gotta go.
But when you're making these mixtures, are you keeping track of like what percentage you're adding in so you can recreate them, or is
I
the
am.
plan? Oh, okay.
I am, but I'm not trying to recreate them.
Gotcha.
I will definitely never ever try to get to the point where it's even the same percentage points, let alone the same gram level. You know what I mean? It's just not worth that level of a headache or just.
I feel like
tediousness,
that's
if you
pretty
will, you know.
interesting to keep track though, regardless, because if you decide to flip something up in the future and you liked the way, say, that dipped clem hit, but you have a new orange you want to try with it, then that ratio went well. You could start there always. So I think that's pretty smart.
Yeah, a lot of the times, if I'm honest with you, a lot of the times it's like, all right, I ran, a run of clementine and I got a couple 100 grams left over, and then I did a run of lime skunk and I got a few 100 grams left over, and then maybe I've got a full bag of like garlic punch or something, right? And it's just like that's all that's left in the freezer. It's like, well, we got to run it, you know what I mean? So like, here's a new flavor combo. I will take note of kind of a ratio of what that is, and that's often kind of denoted in the name, you know what I mean? I try to keep that kind of on point too. Sometimes I get a little fun and creative with it, but like,
does all of your overflow go towards that then, a new blend, or are you doing like the flights to those small amounts to fill those out so you get like every last drop?
So filling out a flight would be based on what I want to put in there, not necessarily based on what's available. Because like when I'm running a batch, right, it's going to come out in a certain amount, and then I have to break that down into whatever package it might be. I could also just keep it in that, and there's my head stash jar, right? But like you can kind of break it down from there. Now, putting it into a 0.15 gram quartz bucket is nearly impossible, and to do that 7 times for one product is just ridiculous. So while it's very fun and a novel item and a great way to kind of get the whole palette and in a cheaper option, it's just so expensive for me to even do it. It's like kind of not worth the time, you know what I mean? And to make it worth my time, it really is worth their money,
Yeah.
So more of a novelty item then.
Yeah, for sure. And they've changed their packaging. Like the people that provided that packaging, they've changed it up, and I think they only provide like maybe 20 packs now. So I'd have to do 20.15 gram jars per pack. It's crazy, So I don't know. Maybe there's a better way of doing it, but not necessarily with my extracts or my workflow.
I definitely think the idea behind it is awesome. So somebody can try all the flavors basically and get a good sized dab out of each of them. I thought it was awesome.
It's great. I mean, I wish it was just easier.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes for great contests. Let's not forget that.
Love the contest.
That really was special.
I could probably do it better now. Okay, I've been dabbing quite a bit.
For sure.
I bet you have been working out.
I love the contest
After
because every
half
time
mash?
Becca had a dab and like bottom, I got the reheat. So a
Ooh, I hope she left you a little bit.
little bit.
It
She wasn't supposed to, but she did.
It was very challenging for me. I was crying. I was turned around like
You get a
crying over
dab.
here, like
You
Definitely
manual
bummed this
breathing
out
for
on
the
it.
next like 3 hours after that.
It gets to a point where it's just the heat. It's not the high so much. It's just the heat of there wasn't enough time in between each hit.
That's
I
why
wanted-
email would be huge for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like cheat code,
Yeah,
I think.
keep
for a
you
lot of reasons.
going. Yeah. I did want to mention that there's an innovation word to go out, and I believe it's dually between Tara and I, and it was concerned when we were doing our dabs. We sat down and there was no water. Nobody had any water at
Gave them
all,
away.
except
Had brought
me.
one.
And I had flavored water. I put the Mio in. And I didn't have a lot of Mio. I don't like to go hard on the flavor. I just like a little something. And we really wanted to dab. We'd been wanting to dab, and so Troy went on a walkabout somewhere to get the water. And so I go, Tara, I swear to God, we're not going to be heating up the water, so we're not going to be really converting it. And she goes, well, it'll make the rig sticky. I go, I don't think it will. I dump this on myself all the time, and it doesn't dry sticky at all. There's no sugar. And so she's going, well, okay, we'll give her a shot. She's dumping it in, dump a little more. Okay. Sure enough, we did get us some acai terps.
Definitely.
You guys on that spray terp game now.
Puke.
You got them acai terps sprayed on that Spartan puke, huh?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, then we did GG4 after that.
Oh,
it
but
wasn't even just the
here's the
one.
kicker, though. We didn't have a dab tool. So we MacGyvered a fucking dab tool out of her fucking fingernail clippers.
I don't even put water in my Dr. Dabber. I hit it dry all the time. Well, not all the time. Ever since I got back from Barcelona, because Bubba Man had a conversation with me when I was there, because he has a Carta, which I am jealous of because those are nice too. And he didn't have water in his rig, and I'm like, "You can put water in that?" And he goes, "Why do we put water in there?" I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "In your bong, why do you put water in there?" I said, "Well, it filters out stuff." He goes, "The stuff that I put in here doesn't need anything filtered out of it."
Yeah.
And I was
He's
like,
right, man. He's right.
"Okay, okay."
I use water for
I
cooling
thought it was
down, though,
easier on
too.
your lungs is what I always thought.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a
Look-
filter situation.
Look at that reclaim catcher, guys.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I always thought it was for cooling my
Look at how
ass
clear
down
that
a little
is.
bit so I
You
didn't
can
kill
see through that.
myself.
Look at how fucking clear that reclaim is. You
That
tell
is
me
so
you wouldn't just eat that shit or dab it? You know what I mean?
Well, it all collects down there, huh? That's doing
Yeah,
its
it's a
job.
little spot for it. You could scoop that shit right out and pull a subcool and scoop it right in your mouth.
I pull a sub cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay,
be
the
as
only
sensitive.
thing is though, dabbing it is gonna sizzle like a bitch. It does make a lot more noise when you dab it.
Yeah,
Is that because
definitely.
it's got water in it or what?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
it's getting water just
Some
in
kind
it
of-
from the
yeah.
inhaling.
That makes sense.
But
But
yeah,
it-
dabbing that is a good
It
dab.
actually doesn't even taste bad either. It tastes
It
just like
doesn't.
the fucking shit. I've dabbed the shit out of
It's
that.
decarbed, you know what I mean? Like it's active, it's ready to go. And he's right, man. He's right.
He's right.
If you've got a clean enough extract, and I'm talking extracts, not flour because combusting, and there's a whole lot of extra there that you probably do want to filter out, and that's maybe where the water bungs come in. But he's not wrong, man. If you've got everything you need in that, all you're doing is just leaving some behind, kind of, you know, because it's
Exactly.
we're playing so much with fucking e-nail temps and watching the temps with these sous vides and stuff that are heating up our bangers, and we're all anal about our torches and our little kits that tell us what temperature we're dabbing at and stuff, and then we put it right through 68-degree water, and it's just kind of like, now what? Now we've got these giant resin balls that are floating around in our dab rig that we're probably just going to cover in Epsom salts and isopropyl and dump out and do nothing with,
Yep.
Like, I don't know, maybe
Call
iso
me
it
out
and then
harder.
dump it out and let
Damn.
that.
Yeah, and
I
let's just
call myself out too. I don't scoop that shit out of there and eat it. I wish I was as cool as some cool.
I think that might be the line of the night. I wish I was as cool as some cool.
Well,
Oh,
it is
man.
dab time, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, it
I'm gonna
is.
get back on that
Cheers.
lime skunk though. Let's see if this is
You
any
just-
less chatty, Kathy.
Yeah, I think I'll give me some lime skunk since we just mentioned it.
I'm gonna.
Good
Oh,
idea.
I'm gonna talk about something real quick. I'm excited because Baked got a hold of me today, and I think our next seeds that we're gonna pop. I'm trying to pull it up here so I can get it right. Are those seeds that I how should I say it, that I acquired in Spain, and they're here now.
Nice. Hell yeah. dude.
And but they're pretty exclusive seeds because it was a gift from DNA Genetics to
Oh.
Bubble Man
Oh,
for the Legends of Hashish people only. And and they're not there's not an unreleased genetics. It's not released to anybody else. And so I got two crosses. One was Kosher Kush to Honey Bananas, which I'm most excited for. I think
Sounds good.
it's only 6 fems, so it's not like there's a ton of seeds, but it's cool. It'll be cool to grow them out and see what they are. The other one is another honey banana cross, but the other side of it is Clementine and OG18. So
Genetics is where the Clementine came from, man. That's why I got excited.
What's the
And,
OG18? I don't know. I'm not familiar.
That's
with that.
that's a throwback there.
that's going to be gas. So that's going to bring gas into it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's dude. I'm telling you though that okay. So it's crossed with what was the honey what?
Honey banana, which was their big dumper.
And okay, and so honey banana is it the terps? Just what is that kind of lineage like?
Honey banana was I'm pretty sure honey banana. I'm not pretty sure. I know honey banana was the last winner of the Legends of Hashish. That was the strain that won Legends of Hashish.
Okay,
In LA, I think it was the LA Legends of Hashish.
okay.
And
Clearly another strain either way.
yeah, and so I'm not sure on the terps of the honey banana, but I just saw the genetic. I mean, Kosher Kush on one side, Kosher Kush times honey banana. If it's Kosher Kush times anything, I want to give it a try.
Right.
And then on the other side of the honey, I just knew honey banana from being the winner from last one, and then Clem and OG18, like a gassy Clementine.
I do think that will be a very toned down Clementine. I don't think it's going to be a very harsh hit, and I think you're going to get a little bit of that fruit in there. But I do think that the OG might kind of be overpowering that. But that's why I want to know about the rest of it.
But it might bring it foul to the foul end of those citrus
Mhm.
too.
Make it more like
Yeah, like a
mango-y
rock.
kind of. Yep. That's
Yep.
kind of what I'm thinking. I was trying to look up Kosher Tangy, which was made by DNA Genetics, and that was what was made previous to 24 karat gold. It was basically the rename because I think it was a new mother, same father, new mother of the strains, same strain, just literally a different plant or whatever. So they renamed it to 24 karat gold. I bought both of those, and I think Clementine maybe even came further down the road after that, maybe, or maybe it was before. But Kosher Tangy combines two award-winning strains, taking the musky pine aroma from Kosher Kush and crossing it with the sweet tangerine notes of Tangy. Yeah, so yeah, man, it's
I also have this.
Chocolate, you mother trucker, dude. Oh my god, I got a chocolate story for you. Oh man, one of our Third Eye Craft Affair patrons has been growing that out and keeping me posted on it, and he was disappointed in it so much to the point where he didn't bring it in.
Ooh.
And I go,
Oh.
bro, you made it to harvest. I didn't even make it past germination with Chocolate. Like I was now, you know what I mean? So I think he took a clone of it, and I think maybe he's gonna give it another shot or whatever. But Chocolate is a winner, bro. It's just a super tedious, hard strain to grow. Like I said, I laser death stared it basically, and it was a kind of my own fault, of course, but I got it too hot when it was in germination and just killed it off before it even went anywhere. But I think I had one seed of it, popped. That was super stoked about it because I heard some stories and it was even recommended to me, and it just went nowhere. So I hope you have much better luck than anyone else I know that has grown it. But if you bring that thing to fruition, man, that might be another one I'll be asking for down the road.
All right, man. No problem. Yeah, I was excited when I heard it. My shout out to Ty Sticks. He actually got this for me in Vegas. DNA was doing the show down there, and he said DNA was down there. I said, and that they had that they had some chocolate. And I said, dude, give me some chocolate, hook me up. So he did. And
Did you
so-
tell Baked about it?
yeah, I was just thinking I need to tell. I did tell him about it, but I should tell him that we should pop these the same time as we pop those.
Yeah, you should. I mean, they're both DNA, right?
Yeah, they're all DNA run.
And I know there's some drama surrounding them or whatever, but I mean, I got on board with them way back in the day, and I think still to this day, between them and like Exotic, you know what I mean? It's just the type of flavors I like. You know?
Well, they've got those old strains. They've been in it. You know, people that have been in it for a while, they've got access to some of that older stuff.
Definitely.
Got a bunch of stuff from Todd McCormick too, from interviewing him on the Let's Be Buds show. So I've got some original. Well, here, I'm going to pull it out. Gotta whip it out.
Oh,
Whip
be
it
careful what
out.
you're whipping out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
All right, I put them all in the packages here, so let's see what all they are. All right, I've got original skunk number 1.
Ooh.
I got original haze, which that one's I'm excited for. Purest indica in breadline.
Hmm.
This is Authentic Genetics ABC company. This guy who goes to like Neville and some of the old guys and gets the actual seeds. These are the ones that I'm the most excited for. It's got the Northern Lights in it. So this one is ON Haze. There's original haze times original haze times Northern Lights number 2.
Just to check real quick, is he just redistributing those seeds that he's getting from these people, or is he like breeding with
Oh,
them?
he got the cuts. He's been breeding for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many weeks on the last one, the Northern Lights? How many weeks is that supposed to run?
I have no idea. That information is not on the little packs. I'll have to go to his website to find that out. Authentic sweet skunk number 1. So this is a sweet skunk. And then the skunk number 1 times the Northern Lights. That's probably the one I would pop. That one and the original haze and the purest indica. Those 3 would be the ones I'd be thinking about first. So I got a lot of interesting stuff lately that I'm stoked for all of it.
Well, supposedly Northern Lights is supposed to grow well outside. Would you consider any of those as an outdoor?
I don't really do much outdoor anymore. Outdoor for me, I might throw autoflowers out there so that I can just grow them because I don't have a space to really grow a big plant.
Yeah,
outside where I'm at,
that's
so.
true. I always forget that. I figure everybody can do what I can do.
I mean, I used to. I
Monsters.
did it for years and years on other properties, but that gets really old driving
Yeah,
around.
it sure does. Having to go visit your plants to grow them is a tough way to go.
And then the security of it is just not great. So
I just I want to point this out and let him know publicly that if he gets a keeper out of that, I would dust my entire fucking garden with it.
I'd love to run some of the those F2s.
For Groli, the breeder.
The
Really,
man,
the
the
pollen
breeder. Shocker. You are a shocker.
Yes, I chicken de
He's a shocker. You gotta say it.
So
Right
we've gotten kind of off the topic a little bit of the Hash Bash Cup, but I didn't make it out there this time. There's always, how should I say, interesting things going on out there. What was there any interesting things that happened at the Hash Bash Cup while you guys were there?
Dude, I was standing behind a table or a dab rig the entire time, or ordering food. We ate so much food. I'm legit. I went from the 220s to the 230s this week, guys.
Yeah, when I went up there, I did see a lot of boxes.
You know that Mediterranean? Oh my god, man! I ate so much hummus and rice, chicken,
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard.
hummus,
Just dabs and munchies all weekend. What are we supposed to
You
do?
should have seen it.
more hummus, more rice, more chicken, and then I got
More dabs, more dabs.
and then more dabs.
Baklava was so good.
The baklava,
The
yeah.
pistachio.
Finish up with the baklava.
Tasty. I don't always like it. It was real good.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it could be one of those things you could screw up, but there's really bad baklava out there. It's like I feel like it's only good or bad. You know what I mean? It's not really an in between, but
Totally.
There's
I don't know.
some
Maybe
sort
I
of
just haven't had
PSA.
a connoisseur. of
People
baklava.
don't serve your family bad baklava.
Of course.
Life
not.
is too short.
Must be crunchy.
Yeah, I want to taste the honey. I want to taste the nut. I want to feel that crunch and the crisp and the flakiness. And
Honey,
I want to cut my tongue on phyllo dough.
It's 10:10. I'm doing a dab.
wait, is it philo or philo?
Phyllo. Phyllo.
Phyllo.
Phyllo. Phi.
Philo.
Philo.
Yeah.
Philo.
Holy moly.
I think I've heard it both ways. Maybe it's just you who says philo.
Man,
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm Western as it gets.
She said philo.
Yeah. All right. Where's Google Translate or Google whatever?
Philo.
Philo.
Now they both sound weird.
Phi.
All right. While we're getting cultured, anybody coming out for the Illinois event on 420?
Ooh.
Wow. Good
Wow.
word.
Yeah.
Oh,
I figured I'd get my French in there too, guys.
man, speaking
Yes,
of
sir.
dude,
Oui, madame.
You go France.
no, but man, there's some cool history in our Midwestern area. I'm not going to dig into it right now. It's
No.
very well could. We were looking at it. Becca's about to mute me. No,
The raspberry parfait is kicking in.
Yeah, I can look at his eyes. I'm thinking he's got some squinty eyes going on there.
oh, dude, yeah,
He needs to
the dabs
eat.
are great. We actually have not eaten that much today. We've been doing a lot of garden prep work today. A lot of decompression with the coyote that we're training over here. He's a
Wiley Coyote.
golden wily coyote, and yeah, so
He's a sweet boy.
He did so good being in his cage while we were working.
Yeah, shout out Ruben too. I should thank
it.
him, man.
Yeah, he's so
He held
like
through.
probably 9-10 hours almost.
yeah, he totally held through. It was in a crate, it's a full size crate. He's full size dog, almost. I mean, he's still a mid sized dog right now, but he's
He
getting
hasn't packed down any weight yet.
his
His
Just getting
teeth
longer.
popping out one after the
paws
other.
are the size.
Really?
We got a whole
Have you
fucking
found any of them that he's lost in your house yet?
All over.
yeah. We got about 4 or 5 of them. They're gonna go in our bone cabinet that we have.
No.
Okay.
No,
Hold
there's a
on.
dark
You
side
shouldn't
to
have said that
Rebecca.
live.
A bone cabinet? Is that a thing? Is that a damn? I always
It shouldn't be.
can't say
This
Peg.
is our DNA. This is our DNA cabinet with bones.
No, I'm trying. That was a bad one. But those.
Oh no.
That's it.
No, their teeth are everywhere.
Yeah, I just found 2 this evening, just a little while ago. We were playing a little tug, and then all of a sudden,
Have you guys seen a short video called Milk Teeth?
No, can you?
Oh.
Teeth?
Well, it's on YouTube. It's only
told
about
me.
10 minutes long, and it's about teeth coming out.
Oh, okay. This isn't about like. This isn't
Wait,
like.
like human teeth? Or?
Yeah, it's human teeth. It's nasty.
Yeah,
It's
those are
a short
different
video.
things. Those aren't their regular teeth. I'll just say that. We'll leave it at that. Those aren't normal teeth.
Freak Rolly's looking it up. I can't wait for you to watch this, man.
I warned you.
Just
remember
watch how
that.
it starts. It's nasty.
Just the intro is the best part. She says.
No, I was actually just replying to someone in chat. They
I'm a
said
little scared.
if you hike in the woods, you find lots of bones, and that's true. I mean,
Ooh,
my dog brings me back a lot of bones, and it's usually animals that have been killed. I have a raccoon with a hole in its skull. I've got that skull. I've found antlers, is what I was commenting.
Yes, that's what I was going to comment. There's lots of antlers out there because they shut them.
They just shed them. They get stuck in things a lot. I found some in fence lines before. They just try to go through a fence and it pops off in there, or they get stuck or whatever. But yeah, deer that never got found.
I've been.
Yeah, that big one you track forever.
February February specifically is a good time of year to go antler hunting. Hiking to find antlers, or foraging for antlers, whatever it is.
Collecting.
Otherwise, I don't know, groundhogs, mice. What was I about to say? I think beavers or
Quail?
all kinds of shit. Yeah, shit eats them.
Non-bottom.
What am I thinking of? Porcupine. There we go. Oh, the clap. Porcupine, I think, devours the shit out of them in the forest.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But where are there porcupines?
Oh, dude,
Michigan.
Oh, they're all over.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where he hunts, they're all over where he hunts.
they're all over where I hunt. My nephew actually got a photo of one up in a tree. So that's where they're at. They're in the tree.
I've seen him on like the
Big one.
sides of roads and stuff, but not
It's
in
funny
trees.
watching them walk because they just because
Yeah.
of the quills.
It's
they
like a
just kinda
chicken,
wave.
Spiky.
Yeah,
And they're slow.
super slow.
And they can't fly.
And they'll
and they
Well,
can't fly. No,
can't
God,
listen.
thank God
You know,
we
I'm
can't
just talking
fly.
about
Can
the
you
water,
imagine
Lauren,
getting
if
hit
the
with one
penguin,
of
how about
them?
that?
they're four-legged. I'm pretty sure
When
they're
you
a
were
mammal.
comparing them point
Yeah.
for point.
I think they're a mammal.
I
They're just,
didn't know that, guys.
they're
I
just
A
like
learned
gliding porcupine. It's like a gliding squirrel, but different.
That's
I learned-
terrifying. That sounds more like a trebuchet of spikes.
What is that, Jeb? Oh, that sounds like a real good fantasy game animal to have. The soaring porcupine.
Sounds more like a Pokemon, I think.
I don't know. I haven't seen Pokemon in a long time.
There are some good Pokemon artwork shirts at this event. That's okay. So that's one of the beautiful things about events of this size, and you guys could speak
All
for
the
that.
different art stuff.
Oh my goodness. I'm talking more like drip or Riz or whatever the heck they're calling it nowadays. But we used to just call it clothing or or outfit or our costume, depending on really how hard you were going with it. But huh?
What's
Yeah,
it
these
called
old
now?
Speaking of old man, shout out Old Man Herman Hash and Eric from Winewood. They both stopped by the booth. We got to smoke some delicious Old Man Herman Hash, and I think we smoked it all. I was going to share it, but I think we smoked it all.
And I got to meet him, and he wasn't old enough in my mind. I was thinking of an old man,
he's
but
younger
It's a
than
young,
I.
strapping buck.
unfortunately, I am also old woman fairy weed. So
Yeah, well, you and I are holding that down right
yeah.
His biscotti is so freaking tasty. I mean, the whole time from start to finish, I mean, it's just pure taste. Ugh.
What is the terp drip called where it runs down the cone? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out last night. Yeah.
Because
Got a
it
specific
was
name?
3 millimeters long.
Something
Thing.
It was running up the cone so far. This
Oh, that's
layer of terps just dripping, like running
Like a
away from the
vein?
cherry. No, like a tsunami running away from the cherry, just coming down the cone.
Trying to get away from trying to get not die.
Yeah. Not get lit on fire, just melting down the cone because it's so terpy. I mean, it was
So
impressive.
Dang.
It really is. I mean, it's just wow.
bubbly and ready to ignite.
Right? Yeah, maybe light it from the other end. It might.
Ooh, doing another dab.
All the dab pyros are going. Yeah.
We're doing like a whole flavor of the flights over here. A flight.
Yeah. See who needs a
Kinda.
flight when you got
Flight.
12 grams.
We got what, 6, 7? Yeah, we got a full flight.
That's awesome.
Well, it's a tough problem to have, you guys.
I know.
It really is. It really
Very
is.
blessed.
We are
Thank you.
blessed. We've we've been super blessed.
I mean,
You guys do the biggest dabs, and I was telling your lovely wife that it just must be so nice, but most people have to like take little dabs so you get more.
We
Listen,
still serve
this-
here too.
this habit got so expensive, I had to start growing it. All right.
Yeah, just like
We grew.
we got too many kids. We got to raise our own vegetables, Ma. Same thing, only with meat.
Like grocery bill gets wild.
I swear, every time I see your lovely wife, I always say the same thing. She gave me my first dab ever.
Mhm.
Every time. I never miss this. It's like, God, they must get tired of me saying it, but
No, she doesn't, man, because she got that actually a couple times this weekend of people that have come up through the years and stuff, and maybe did take their first dab at a cup or something back in the day, right? Just similar.
Oh, and if you really
situation,
want to know, Clementine was my first dab.
I believe it.
It was mine too. That was my first dab too.
Yep.
Nice.
All right,
I
well, now
think it
it's-
is. I was trying to figure out the other day. I think I technically might have popped lime skunk before I got the Clementine. I'm not sure on that, but they're within a year. I think it goes 2016 was officially lime skunk because I know it was released in 2015, but I think we started like actually flowering it or whatever in 2016. I believe 2017 or maybe 16 was Clementine. 2000, we'll call it 2017. 2018, I believe, was Garlic Punch. And I think I confirmed that with my grower the other day. And then we have basically a gap of no pheno hunts or no pheno hunts that were good enough or successful enough or worthy enough. There's a lot of ways you could, look at that, but nothing until about
Worthy.
nothing until
why bring up something less? You got
well, for
something-
sure, right. But I tried, not for lack of trying.
Yeah,
I was often
exactly.
failing, but and then I was fortunate enough to, I believe in 2022, get gifted a cut of the Cobra Milk from Spartan, which was the newest edition after that Garlic Punch. And then in 2023 it was Grape Fun Dip, and now in 2024 it's Raspberry Parfait and hopefully potentially Squirt. So it's 1 year, except for a couple of years in there, and I've lost some along the way for sure, but always trying to add, or just find something out there. And it's not always me finding it, you know what I mean? Like probably half of those, well, maybe a little less than half, I didn't pheno hunt, Cobra Milk. Spartan did that. Like he knew what my palate was missing and what I was looking for. And he had it in his quiver already. And he was generous enough to share that with me and kind of fill that out, right? And then Baked, right? Not Spartan. Baked gave me the direction on the Raspberry Parfait, and so that's where we're at with that. The Lime Skunk was just one of those exotic genetics releases that it's like, yeah, let's go with that one, you know what I mean? And pop the pack, and here we are today with it. So sometimes it's by chance, sometimes it's what you're looking for, and sometimes you got to really go work for it,
I will say one thing going back to the hash bash, not to change the subject back, is that during my second shift with Russ and Emily, because Russ is so ubiquitous on YouTube and on so many shows, he's very easily recognized. So people would come up to say hi to Russ, who I didn't recognize from Adam, until I heard their name, because I know their name from, like, for example, Mesa Guru. Yeah, knew him from, I see him in the chat all the time, but we would have walked right past each other, and maybe he's seen me, maybe not, because I do go on things, but not very often. And maybe nothing that he's seen. So we could have walked past each other, never seen each other, but he saw Russ and recognized Russ. And also to that, because you guys are both, Fregroli and Russ, are out there on the YouTube and known to a lot of people, you also have people coming up offering you things that they found. And that can also be a boon for what you're doing, because any of us would love to see something we found end up as a concentrate by Fregroli.
Absolutely.
That's true, but I will say, Blue Kiss, it's usually just people asking for cuts of Lime Skunk.
Looking, not giving. Damn. Well, I'll tell you what, if I find something I find freaking amazing, I will let you know.
I will also say that it does seem like lime is coming back. We've talked about this a couple of months ago about what flavors might be coming back in 2024 or might be coming in stronger or something new, right? And I had a couple people tell me, they're like, it seems like limes are coming back. And I'm like, this one hasn't ever went away. It's just been here, but I'm glad to see that because we talked about it on the show, I think a couple times, right? Spartan, don't you guys have something?
Well, look at you got the lime and the skunk. The skunk is constantly being hunted. Constantly. That's more missed than anything for sure. But yes.
I think it's
put them together, and what do you got? Blessings for everybody.
yeah, and I think it's the nuances between the two with the ensemble effect. Well, wrong.
Entourage. The entourage effect.
Nah, it's the ensemble effect.
There's a debate over that.
Yeah. See,
Okay,
because-
all right,
Definitions
I can see
matter.
it.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I believe this. I'm not going to force you to believe it, but this is why I believe it. So, entourage effect makes you believe that there's one big player and everybody, we just usually assume THC, and then everybody else kind of modulates that, and it works. They're in the background. They're their crew, their entourage. Whereas an ensemble effect, I believe that's more equal, where they're all playing against
Everybody
each other in
plays
different ways.
something,
Yeah.
like in a symphony.
Yes, exactly. Like an ensemble. So
Someone's been hanging out with Bubble Man.
Dr. Greenspoon actually is the
I see we've been going out and about and getting
Who
other
said that?
thoughts.
Bubble Man is also probably knows it as well. But yes. So yeah. Now I forgot what the hell I was talking about.
Entourage and
Bruce Lee calls it
ensemble.
symphony effect or something like that. It's something like that.
Oh yeah, so the difference, it could be just a little bit of difference by a straight lime and a lime skunk. It just might be a subtle difference in flavor. It's not so much about it's so close in flavor, it's the same thing. It might not be the same effect though. It might be a little bit of different effect, even if it's just a muted effect. Maybe the one effect's too strong for some people, and the muted effect is what you said, like when you do a blend that you could help, like when you put the dip in it, right? The fun dip, it kind of modulated that down. Maybe it's an effect like that. Maybe that's why there's room for more than one lime or room for more than one orange.
100%. And THC is THC, you know what I mean? But it's the terpenes that modulate it. So the more you can play with that profile, like ultimately you might get to this full spectrum profile. And I think that's great. Maybe more for like ingesting and RSO and that, kind of stuff. But if you want to modulate the effects of the high, right? That's the terpenes, right? So play with that more, find more of those flavors, find more little, maybe slight nuances or
I'm a big fan of what you're doing though, because to me, because it's similar to kind of what I aim to do when I do my RSO is use more than one cultivar, right? Because you're getting that wider range, you're casting that wider net. So I think you could get a fuller medicinal effect by doing that, by pulling in a whole nother strain's worth of cannabinoids, terpenes. We can go right down the list, right?
Yeah, that's why we do our edibles and our topicals. But I will say, this is so loud. This garlic punch. Oh my gosh, guys! Holy smoke! She's there right now, and I immediately was like, "Garlic punch, huh?"
I just sent and confirmed now. I just sent a picture of this pack to Baked, and I said, "Yo, we could pop these too and do a DNA run." And he said, "Bring them over tomorrow." So
Shout out to Faith.
Cheers, buddy.
I know where you're going to be tomorrow, huh?
Let him know I still have his.
Oh, I'm sure he knows.
Yeah. I gotta catch up with him soon. I was hoping to see him at a Hash Bash Cup, but
yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize his parents were in town.
Yeah, his parents were in town.
He's been in town for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna put his thing out there, but
Not too often mom and dad come to town, so.
I know. I totally hit him up on Saturday. I was like, "Yo, you want to ride up with us? We're going up to that." He's like, "Oh my!"
He didn't want to bring him with. Nobody got his folks tickets to a Hash Bash Cup. Really?
I wonder if they would have come.
Wait a minute. His parents are probably younger than me, so let's go easy, huh?
Yeah, but Blue Kiss, you are one of a kind.
I
won't argue. I'm not.
So you know that. But yeah, I don't know.
No, he had a ticket waiting for him. He knew. He just, it's family first. You guys know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, this is how serious he was. He took his dry room and made it into a bedroom for his parents.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And when I was over there Tuesday, he had bought brand new sheets for him and everything, and pillows. He was ready to go for him.
Nice. And I'm so glad they got here for good weather instead of bullshit weather. I mean, they probably still went, it's really cold here, but still.
Yeah, well, they live in Florida, but they're from. They also have a place like in Pennsylvania, I believe it was.
I think
And so it's like they go all over.
Well, that's
Sounds
pretty
pretty cool.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure he's having a good time. He's probably having his mom cook him pretzels and
Everything that he wants.
Bread.
That he can't hear.
some bread. He's probably fucking chowing down on homemade bread for sure.
That's good, man. He can afford to gain 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been working out. He's looking good, man.
Good.
He keeps
His
growing
protein shakes.
not wider. He grows up, not out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Gosh, I don't know if he can get any taller, can he? You goodness.
Oh, there's like Spartan, Baked, and Fragoli, and I hang out and like I was in the past being around Sequence and Scobo and all these guys together. And it's like,
Yeah, that when I first met all you guys together, it was like you got a basketball team and a coach.
The coach.
basketball team.
Sorry, man. That's how I saw it.
Hey, dude, that's
Calls them like I sees them.
No, not every time you show up, Red's gonna be in a fucking suit and tie.
Clipboard. God damn it.
Yeah, a suit and tie and a clipboard with a dry erase thing on it.
We know what we're doing for Halloween next year.
basketball team. Don't worry.
Basketball Joneses.
We just need some numbers and put names on the back of our shirt.
Sure.
So I'll get an afro. I'll wear an afro.
There you go. Yeah.
We just get a nice basketball uniform on. What's the name of the team? The Buds.
We'll come up with something.
Michigan Bros
Let
Globetrotters.
us know in chat. What do you guys think? We'll get us some names.
It can't be long. It can't be no Michigan Bros anything. We don't have enough room on our shirt for all that.
That's true. I don't know. That's gonna take a little. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I'm just
Go
the idea
home.
person.
The Michiganjas.
There you go.
Tell the opposition to grow home.
Oh, I like that.
That's right.
I do like that.
Grow home.
Grow big and grow home.
Grow
Keep
home.
growing. I'm partial to keep growing. I like that one a lot.
So a moment ago, I was fucking around and showing off the Lara's medical marijuana program address because I got her.
What'd you find out?
No, nothing. I got a
Right.
letter. I got a letter from Lara from the medical marijuana program.
Oh, you got a letter straight from him?
I got a letter.
A letter from Larry.
Like a paper letter. You got a paper letter
Paper letter.
What the-
Oh,
that you
okay.
paid for with your taxes. Okay.
A letter from Lara, specifically for medical marijuana program. We also have letters from Lara specifically for like our LLC. I mean, we have an LLC with Lara.
Oh yeah, I get those all electronically.
Yeah. So we get So
He wants to kill a
marijuana
tree. Let him kill a tree.
we'll send you something attached to that paper. Attached to that paper, after you complete a task, of course, with getting approved for your medical marijuana card. So this past week, Becca and I both applied for our medical cannabis cards through the Michigan MMMP, Michigan Medical Marijuana Program.
CRA now, right?
Yeah, actually, I got a new card, and the new card is white. It's a new card. It's not a blue card. It's a white card, and it says the Cannabis Regulatory Agency.
Yep.
It no longer says anything, but I believe the bill is still under the MMMP. I don't think that changes.
The bill, you're right. But they're gonna just do like a law change and change it probably to say, which is fucking plus. Let's get marijuana off of all the goddamn laws and let's just call it cannabis, like what it is. That would be a good
It
stuff.
does say cannabis on here, which is really nice, and it's a little state of Michigan. And I'm not going to show that part of the card. I'll show this back part. No caregiver. And on the other side, it says authorized to possess plants. It says yes right there. And and I'd try to cover up all the stuff if I could, but in my hands I won't be able to. But it's kind of cool. The front of the card's got a lot of nice information. It actually has my face. Becca got it, and I got it
Because I
today.
had the electronic Dulio where they kind of like they used to do it, or maybe they still do over at Wally World.
Electronic. Yeah, we
The
did.
electronic face thing right on the card. Is that what you got for ID?
No,
Or is
there's
it a
my
picture?
driver's license photo on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I mean, so you're a regular physician, as long as you have a physician number, you can apply online. It's gonna go through some steps online, and then I forget what the cost is online at the state. It's like $40, $50, something like that to the state. Some of the doctors that you find, they may not charge you anything, and so all you need is whatever the state fee is, plus your doctor's physician number at the end of all your questionnaire. It goes, do you have your authorization from your doctor? And so what will happen is you put in the doctor's physician number, and Lara will email an application form to your doctor, and then your doctor will approve that, and Lara will email you back your PT number, which is your patient identification number, which honestly takes moments as long as your doctor's available to okay that form. I'm guessing it's just to check a box. So the doctors that we went through, essential telehealth, and so this was a phone consultation, not a phone. Today we have a video phone, right? Is that what it is? Telecommunications. So video phone telehealth, is that what it was? Telehealth, essential telehealth. And they're based out of Ann Arbor, actually. And the cost for the doctor appointment, the consultation, not really doctor consultation, it's an appointment, was $90. And if you want them to do the caregiver paperwork for you, you can pay them an extra $10. But honestly, that's just a change form. If you're a caregiver, that's a real easy process to do. As long as you have your patient's PT, patient identification number, you can change that. And you also need a copy of the driver's license and stuff like that just to ship out to the state. Doesn't cost anything for the state. Otherwise, Central Telehealth charges you $10, which makes it easy because they print it all out on the paper, which is kind of cool. They'd send you the file, email it to you. You can just print it out. So I did that a couple times. I was like, I might just pay them that extra $10 for that. They get it all taken care of, and then all I need is sign the papers. Bada boom, bada bing, send them in. So Becca and I both got our patient cards renewed. And all cleared out. We're able to be patients again. And honestly, we did the appointment in a matter of, 30 minutes. I mean, the questionnaire was maybe a 10-minute long questionnaire.
2 minutes.
I mean, you really could get it through it really fast, depending on, how fast you are with your device. I'm like, I'll read everything, make sure I don't check the wrong box, all that bullshit. And then you get through it, and then you got to do a video phone call with the doctor. And in this case, what's wrong with you? It's spinal injury, whatever, whatever, pain. And Michigan has chronic pain, so pain's, very subjective. It's an easy one. A lot of people are able to, honestly, not get asked a lot of rigorous questions. I mean, like, you have arthritis or anything like that. In my case, I've got neck arthritis, so I'm able to, get my medical cannabis card because I have pain in my neck and I get headaches and all this other shit, and cannabis helps me. And Michigan law allows for me to, fortunately, as an almost 40-year-old, be able to get this card. Thank God. There's no questions asked. The doctor's super smooth sailing. Mama Red, Daddy Red, they both went through the process. Super smooth sailing for both of them. Daddy Red's, in his young 70s, and Mama Red's, and so I mean they were
they're sweet.
And so Daddy Red
very smooth, man, very smooth. Daddy Red is in his young 70s. Mama Red is,
so we keep going.
very smooth. I love it. I like that.
I thought that was sweet.
So I mean, honestly, the process with the doctor, it was like a 10-minute deal, and Becca did hers. And what's cool is we both sent in our paperwork online at the same time, and when she did her video phone chat with the doctor, I was right there, and he was like, "Oh, I see you're with Red Setter Farm," and she was like, "Yeah, I'm with Red Setter Farm," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm actually right here," and here I go, woohoo, like the dude that comes in and like Toasty, and
Yeah. Do you have any humor, Doctor?
dude. And so I'm like Toasty, and so
Did that help?
like
Oh, he's probably not there to
"Just do
go
mine
with.
right now," and he's like, "Yeah, I got your paperwork right here." So we both did ours in the same session, which was super cool, and it was super easy. So really, we both got ours done in the matter of like 15 minutes. I talked to him a little bit about the caregiver space and stuff like that, and then asked for a whole stack of his business cards to put on our table because, of course, we're caregivers and we were spread, make sure more people get their medical cards. And so hopefully he does send me, in fact, some cards to put on our table. But Essential Telehealth, I'll shout them out. Get your card through them. If you have a PT number, yeah, get yourself a caregiver. It's super easy for somebody to either become a caregiver or adopt people as a caregiver. You do need to pass a background check. That is something that they'll do with your name and information. But
We found one this weekend.
caregiver,
Nope, patient.
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 Oh, nice, very
Someone
cool,
that's a fan of the show.
nice.
Long time,
Excellent.
fan of the dabs, you know what I mean? And needs a new caregiver.
Right on.
And asked if I had a spot, and I said, for you, I do.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's super easy on the caregiver side of things to adopt patients. It's super easy to, drop caregivers, add caregivers, for the patient side of things. I mean, really, it's just a matter of getting a copy of your driver's license and signing some forms, and honestly,
It's like a
signing
half page. It's nothing.
you sign half, the caregiver signs half, patient signs half. And it's something that's easily accessible through just Googling caregiver change form, MMMP caregiver change form. Even those 3 Google keywords will get you the exact change form that you need through Lara. Yeah, and make sure your revision dates are always up to date, of course, and that you're using the most up to date thing, and always that all of your spelling is accurate.
Okay, so see all these things that he's telling you to make sure you do this and make sure you do that with the revision. This is why I pay the $10 and just have the doctor do it for me.
Yeah, there we go.
'Cause if there's a mistake, they'll fix it, and you don't have to pay another $10. You have to pay more stamps. You don't have to redo it for it.
Everything's typed and printed on that form so that my chicken scratch handwriting doesn't get denied by the state, because if you don't dot your I's and cross your T's perfectly according to whoever's reading your form, they
correct color ink or
have the
something.
authority to deny those forms if they believe that a letter is out of place.
Yeah, and it's very rare that these do get denied, but it's not all that rare. I mean, maybe on the grand scheme of things, but there are a lot that get sent back for maybe like he's talking
Correction,
about more,
at least.
yeah, it's more just correction.
Form,
It's
yeah.
not denials, it's
It's not
corrections.
denial. It's not denial. It's a correction. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that's I mean I really have I didn't do that for a long time. I always mailed my own forms and did the whole thing, you know what I mean? And then the service just became a lot more affordable, and $10 is worth it in my opinion, especially considering everything else like you've been saying is so easy.
Yeah.
Just if you can stretch your money to that next level of $10, man.
The change form used to be $10, so it would have cost 10.
Mhm.
$20. You know what I mean? Now
Plus
that process is free
Gas
for the
allowance.
state. I mean, I'd rather give my additional $10 to the other, Michigan business that's operating in Michigan business, Ann Arbor company. I'm happy to do that. They're local. That's a local business in my eyes. You know what I mean? I'm happy to help him out. Not only, and so I'd say it was $90, $90 for the appointment, $10 for that. So $100 flat. It's going to protect us as caregivers for 2 years. Yeah, I like that added protection. Just that little bit. We always smell like weed. It's on my arms. It's in my hair.
They always smell like weed.
You know what I mean? There's always going to be a question of,
Sure.
you don't want to get a OWI or any kind of dumb shit like that. Like with the cannabis medical protection, you have a lot of reasons to have it in your system and be okay with it. And you can, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to go down this route or road or rabbit hole. So I suggest you all.
Well, then let's talk about this one shirt, and I want to bring it back to the other. We said artwork, but that's not where I was going with it, and I realized we never really went anywhere with it because I did get there. But I saw this one lady at the Hash Bash Cup had a shirt on. It was an all white shirt with green text on it, and it said, "Yes, I smell like weed, and like, you know, I smoke it too," or something like that. And it was just like, it was very like in your face, accepting of it. Like, you're gonna turn around because she smells like it, and then you're gonna see her shirt, and you're like, all right, well, I'm not gonna say anything because she's just letting me know that she knows. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I was like, that's a cool shirt because you know you're gonna get called out. We all have been called out before in public. You know what I mean? Whether it's just like a stare or actual, you know, someone saying something. But like Red said, you kind of just smell like it a lot if you're working around it. You know,
Our guy rolled his windows down and like, yeah,
Turned on the air
turned on the
conditioning.
AC full blast to see his car. He was like, "Who the fuck? What the hell's going
I
on?"
saw a picture of him. I'm not surprised.
He's wild, man.
I don't
Well,
think he was
here's a good
expecting that.
allegedly. Allegedly, I may have been at Culver's today and allegedly had my new pipe from the Hash Bash that I bought that looks just like another one I got last year. Anyway, neither here nor there, but I was waiting to get high after my food came out, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And I went, dang, I'm sick of waiting. I'm going to take a hit. And literally, when it hit my lungs before I could even exhale, the dude was at my window. So I rolled down my window. I thought, I can just hold on to it, you know. And he goes, is this, yeah, he says, whatever. And I'm going, yep, you know, trying to hold it. And he goes, and I know it's got to stink because his pipe's still burning. He goes, want to check the bag, make sure your order's right? Uh-huh. And I got a little cloud coming out. Thanks. I was just like, Jesus Christ, lady. But yeah, it's just like, it's kind of like when you go into the bathroom and your phone rings. Same thing with the food. Take a hit and the guy will be at your window.
That's
We were
Go
out
ahead,
to
Joe.
eat. We were out to eat tonight at Buffalo Wild Wings. We got sat by where the waitresses all gather and make drinks and stuff, and I hear the one go over. And she's like, "Do you
Like
smell-"
she like did a whole like around the whole room and came and found this other lady and's like, do you smell weed? I smell weed really, really bad. And she's like, yeah, I've been smelling it too. And I looked at him. It's like,
Over here, please.
well, we're the only ones that have
Please.
walked in. So they go to all of the other waitresses and they're all like, do you smell this? Do you smell this? Do you smell this? And we're just looking at each other going,
Yeah, we had a skunk on the way. Sorry, guys.
Hi.
I'm going to share my Instagram story to give you a little perspective on the clouds at this place.
Oh my god, yeah, that's I couldn't see walking through.
Yeah,
the-
that is a really good. That's a first
That is.
impression walking in right
The
there.
sun, the sunlight.
seriously-
Yeah.
yeah. And so the sunlight's blinding me, and the smoke it was like blinding me, and the two combination, like the sun was reflecting off the smoke. It was like the eclipse. Like, don't look at the
yeah, it was the clips 3 days early.
it was like an eclipse inside this building. It was refracting and it was wild, dude. I was like, I'm fucking high.
That was today, so I have to believe the smoke thickness was probably a little lighter.
A lot less today. I mean, we still
Yeah.
have the fire alarms yesterday. You know,
Anyone
what I
need
mean?
to come see the
That's true. That's true.
They can
Yeah,
do
it is the first impression when you first walk through the doors because you're right at the ball. Well, the main room, the ballroom is actually where he was at the. It's a different room, but in the main room when you first walk in it, and it's got the high ceilings and it's just nothing.
That's the
but,
video I just showed. That's the main.
Yeah,
one.
the vapor. Yeah, and thicker than that though, because I remember when I walked in yesterday, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm not gonna be able to find enough. I had sunglasses on too because
There's a balcony.
Worse throughout the day. It just like stays there. The ventilation was all, I guess, where the glass room was. That's where all the ventilation was, and didn't really help the rest of the place.
No, I don't suppose. Well, but walking into the ballroom right by where you guys were when you first walked in, it was cool and it was kind of clear. And then as you got in the room, it got bad. But
Yeah.
at that little spot right there when you first walked in, it was just a moment of, oh. And then it was like, oh, not really.
They picked a great spot. I think right in front like that for Girlie was perfect. Way
I
better.
didn't pick it. It was assigned to me. I just got very lucky, and this is the first year. I
Yeah,
got
somebody
lucky.
liked you, Dad. Somebody liked you this year for sure.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how it's drawn up or how it works. I didn't ask for a specific spot. I never have. I've just been told it's assigned, and normally I would show up early to try to get my a spot I would prefer. It did work out this time, and I was there early. I actually showed up at 7:05 p.m. on Thursday because I was told that 7 p.m. on Thursday was vendor check-in, and it was me and four other vendors sitting around a table looking at each other, realizing it's not happening
Yeah.
today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we were the only ones that were paying attention, and somebody was just talking out their ass.
That's
Kind of
not
probably
cool.
what happened. Yeah, it's not cool.
So when did you show up? When the next day?
When we scooped Red and Becca and got there,
Okay,
we could show up as a team. So yeah, I think vendor check-in was at 11. They normally do it at noon, but they just knew it's chaos, so they kind of gave it an extra hour this year. It seemed to work out. I don't think we had any issues getting set up by doors open, which was 3 p.m. on Friday and noon on Saturday. But you have an hour to set up on Saturday, and so if you're kind of fresh that day, it might be a little more challenging. And then the challenging part about Friday, here's one of those logistical things. So I actually wasn't even present at the booth for the first 2 hours of the event because the doors open of the event at 3 p.m. and that is coincidentally the same time that hotel check-in is. And so if you are a vendor and you have a room at the hotel, you need to somehow simultaneously be at your booth running it and checking into your hotel room, right? And so this is, again, another one of those situations where not only is it hugely helpful to have at least Mrs. Frigoli there, but it was amazing to have, some additional teamwork there, like Red and Becca and Professor and Body Double, because it allowed me for those first 2 hours to, well, at least for 45 minutes, stand in line and wait to check into the room. And we needed the room for storage, you know what I mean? And just to be able to have a break room and things like that. And so that took, better part of 2 hours to get to that point. And then at that point, it's like 5 o'clock, right? It's like, now we got to think about dinner. And so, that's kind of another one of those responsibilities that I need to make sure the team gets fed. You know what I mean? I don't want everyone to just start getting real hangry by 6-7 p.m. That's a recipe for disaster. And now that I'm thinking about it, guys, I gotta pay homage when we're talking about this kind of vending stuff, and kind of like working as a team with some other caregivers and stuff, or co-op, or however you want to look at it, because the first time I ever went to a Cannabis Cup, Michigan Made Melts was the vending at that cup. I think it was like the 2015 Clio Cup, and maybe 16, but real early on. And him and I had met. I bought an email off of him. He's kind of just told me what was going on with dabs and stuff, right? I kind of figured out, what an email was, and I was like, all right, like, let's go down this road. And in any case, he was vending, and he kind of took me under his wing and just said, hey, like, if you need a spot to chill, like, you need a place to throw your bags, you need a spot to eat lunch or whatever, just come hang out in the tent, you know what I mean? And he had the space for it, the shade for it, and as we all know with that speedway, like, shade's very beneficial thing sometimes in that July, August, September, whatever it might be, heat. So that was kind of my introduction into that event space, really. And then the following year is when Ocean Grown allowed us to set up our dab rig and for the first time hand out free dabs and, get our products in front of people. And they were, that was a huge booth. That was like a huge year for them and stuff. And so that was like quite the advanced experience, I would say. But I got to pay homage to both Michigan Made Melts and Ocean Grown Genetics, because they early on took me under their wing and gave me that experience of kind of what that perspective was from the other side of the counter, just in any way, shape, or form, And I think that's a very valuable thing to have. as a grower, as a processor, as a caregiver, as someone that's doing what we do. So I'm more than happy to share that experience with someone like Red and Becca, you know, and anyone else on this panel. You know, because I think that's like baked, you know what I mean? Like he was there with me last year, you know what I mean? He was kind of my right-hand man last year. He held down that table, you know, it was very impressive. And I don't think he has or had at that point the experience that Red and Becca do, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of cool to see. And now he's freaking crushing it in the Trichome Forge, you know? So
It's an overwhelming event. Like I couldn't imagine that being like your first event.
We were like, we couldn't just do it by ourselves. No way.
No way, dude.
No way.
It's
So much.
awesome. He's so great.
Definitely.
Yes, he went up to me. I had a little thing, a Gems and Genetics event, and Grandmaster Level had a booth there just to show off that the Borg light. And I asked him to go up there with me, and he did, and it was cool. He asked me a few things, you know. I had to give him a little bit, but he picked it up quick, and he
He's
was
like
just
a natural.
yeah, he really is a natural salesman.
Yeah, he
honestly.
really is.
I mean, let's be honest, though, it really was the power of the fanny pack that got him through.
That's true. That is true.
he was
There's a
pretty
lot of
impressed
weight in
with
the
Danica.
thing.
That's
It threw
true.
some balance on the whole package. Is all.
It keeps you low center of gravity, you know. He's very tall.
Anything grows makes a gnarly fanny pack. Can I just say that? You make a badass.
Hey, thank you.
No, I don't mean you make a good like I don't mean that
Like you would make a really good
Physically,
fanny
thank
pack
you.
girl. Wrap your legs around.
I mean like you create really nice hand knit fanny packs, which is fucking pretty cool.
Dude, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Where
It's
like a little too small for like all my stuff for Hash Bash. I couldn't.
gotcha. No, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. You're the first one to get one of those, and Blue Kiss, I think you actually got something else that I'm hoping to be vending this year with the Trichome Forge at some tables.
Oh,
So,
fun.
Yeah,
Throwing some stuff off.
absolutely.
So if you are or aren't talking about Gems and Genetics, are you talking about Gems and Genetics possibly? Okay, so I was just thinking, like this last couple minutes, let's just kind of shout that out because we brought up Gems and Genetics name. So, and
He's the first one on the diet today, yesterday, by the way.
Exactly. So I actually spoke with him while I heard back from him, and you know, I sent him a message earlier this morning to lock in for Gems and Genetics. I wanted to see him this weekend so that I could, you know, actually lock in with him in person, and I actually missed opportunity to see him and catch up with him. So I made sure that I reached out to him immediately. Guys, make sure you reach out to your promoters immediately. Stay in touch with them always and be kind and friendly forever. Okay, so anyway, just
Second weekend in June, you guys. I already have my VIP.
what was it? Like the
7th, 8th, 9th.
And so the vending days where vendors will be there is the 7th and the 8th. The 9th is kind of a pack up, hangout, bullshit, smoke set.
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Yeah. Kumbaya. Bye-bye.
Without the fires.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what
bonfires.
the day is. So the first 2 days are the activity days. Show up for those for sure. But yeah, we will be there. And I also asked about a booth for Rosemary's Oasis. So we'll be there with our Red Setter Farm booth, and we're actually going to have a secondary spot for Rosemary's Oasis, our art apothecary, plants. Yeah, we're actually going to bring
Your website is looking beautiful, man. I checked that out today.
And the most important part of that, will there be grilled cheese after dark?
Late
night grilled cheese.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a hangout booth. It'll be a fun. I think we're gonna like.
We're gonna buy.
And the dude that came back 5 times for grilled, or 3 times, getting 2 of them each time, it's just like, dude, you're gonna get.
I'm so excited to help you guys too. It's gonna be
We're gonna
so fun.
We're gonna have to try to get our booths all next to each other so we can have like a whole corner.
I'm gonna have Endo with.
Reach out to Gems and Genetics.
It would be awesome if they could do that.
And I'll talk to like all of us can just pretty much say the same thing. It'll bury it in his head. He won't forget about it, and we'll be able to definitely do that because he's very accommodating, and he will certainly accommodate.
So
well, you guys know. You guys know that Bergoli will show up with that trailer 2
Oh,
hours
yeah.
before he's
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to,
The
and make sure
generator.
that happens.
The white knight,
And
man.
I'm very, very thankful to you, Red, that you weren't able to get away from the booth and go find Dan from Gems and Genetics, because I took the time to do that, and I was able to find him in the food court and lock in for
You lucked
Fergoli. So
Ah.
Fergoli will be
Nice.
also vending at the June 6th, no, 7th and 8th Gems
Yeah,
and
second
Genetics
weekend in June.
event.
I
Yes,
don't like the
we,
numbers.
we show up on the 6th, and guys, it's a campground and shit, you know. So I mean, I don't know, you know, how they're doing camping and things, if they're allowing people to show up early, but they're allowing us vendors to show up a day early to set up. Well, they have in the past, so I imagine.
that's what Hash Bash was supposed to be too this year, but you know, here we are.
Yeah,
But
That's what
you
has
like
been
drive
told.
there and are camping there, they gotta kind of let you in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try
yeah.
to keep me out. Try.
They have the last 2 years we got there.
Yeah,
I,
so we'll be there setting up, and we're gonna set up a nice space behind each of the booths, and on top of that, we'll make sure that we get lots of camping areas behind everybody else. We're gonna have a good old barbecue sesh.
Let's
Oh,
not
oh,
forget
wait,
on top
wait,
of
hold
that,
on.
it's a cup too.
barbecue sesh. Does that mean we should smoke something?
Oh,
Oh, now we're
Maybe do
talking.
like a
Can you fit a
20-hour brisket or
trail?
something?
Are you
Maybe
talking
some-
meat?
You've got a trailer. You've got a trailer.
Shoulders?
Room. We're bringing our flat top, so I mean, I'm sure you got.
Let's
space.
do tacos.
That sounds like pancakes, bacon, and grilled
Yeah.
cheese.
Oh,
dude.
Oh, I can definitely make
I'm really losing my voice, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm a breakfast sewer
At
over
11
here.
o'clock when we're starting to get the munchies, now let's start talking about food.
Well,
Oh.
before we get to the munchies,
Oh, we're already out of time.
I know I have to share this though.
Yeah.
I have to share this.
Oh, that is freaking
Awesome.
great. That
It
is
looks like
freaking
frosting
great.
on it. What is on his face?
That looks like a
Um,
rug.
It almost looks like an
Yeah,
AI image. You know what I mean?
It kind of does, doesn't it? That's
It just looks like an
It does.
that's actually
AI generated.
AI generated
Which one's
duplication.
real?
He'll appreciate that. But
Madame
yeah, we're out of time.
Tussauds for
Guys, go
grilling.
find some munchies. I recommend hummus and lamb tonight.
'Cause he
And
got
late
flooded this
night grilled
weekend.
cheese. Late night grilled cheese. Late
Grilled
Cheers,
cheese after
guys.
dark.
Good night.
Guys.
Good throwing everybody.